Hello. Oh, I think we have an echo. Hang on, let me see if I can fix it. Can you guys hear an echo? Oh, I don't like it when we have echoes. How is everyone tonight? I see you're all chatting about seasons. I'm looking through the comments. All right, just trying to turn off. Sometimes this happens. Oh, yeah, I see what the problem is. Okay, so I think I fixed it. Is that okay? Can everyone hear me all right? And hopefully that won't cause us any more issues tonight. Oh, I can see there's a lot of chit chat tonight, and we're going from pets to seasons to temperature. We're going through all kinds of things, and there we are. Hello, everyone. I see we have so many people here already that I don't want to go through all the names individually. We're already up to 20 people, so which is great. Fantastic. Welcome. And if you haven't joined me on a Sunday night before, you're in for a treat, not because of me, but because we have the nicest community of people that follow along and watch and all chat to each other in the chat every Friday and Sunday night. And I'm very, very excited to facilitate that. And you guys kind of do your own thing and talk to each other. But some really lovely friendships have begun here in the chat. So it's really nice to see that happening. Okay. If anyone has questions for me tonight, please put them in the chat. If I miss them, somebody usually calls out and puts it in capital letters so it looks like you're yelling, but somebody usually alerts me to the fact that I've missed a question. Happy to answer any questions you might have about absolutely anything papercraft related, or even other stuff if you need to know. So the interesting fact of the day today is one of our cats, we have two cats, and one of our cats loves used Q-tips that have been in people's ears. He loves them, thinks that they're fantastic. He'll chase them all around the house. And so we thought, well, that's weird. What a weird thing to like Q-tips. But maybe it's not the Q-tips. Maybe it's the earwax. And sure enough, we looked up, why does my cat like earwax? And cats like earwax. Who even knew that? Does anyone else know that? It's an animal protein that they really enjoy. So I never knew that. For anyone else who's ever discovered that cats like licking other cats' ears, that's why they actually like the taste of the. I know, isn't that funny? The funniest thing. So that was a little bit of useless information for this evening. I'm sure everyone just needed to know that. Yeah, you. That's exactly right. So there you go. Don't worry, dogs have plenty of weird things they like too. I grew up with Labradors, and those girls and boys, those Labradors eat anything at all. Oh, I knew you would, Michelle. Welcome back. You've been catching up on lives. How did we go yesterday? Did most of you get to see the craft along yesterday afternoon? I really enjoyed doing the craft alongs. I put a lot of work into them. So there's a lot of preparation, doing all the alternate cards, samples, and then the tutorials, and then the measurements, and doing all the stuff. I sent out all the tutorials and measurements PDF out to everyone that placed an order last month. That means you earned that this month. So those all went out earlier today. So if you were expecting one from me, check your inbox. It'll be there. Also, if you're in my team, you would have got one as well. Okay, so whether you're in the Insomniacs team, our team is called the Insomniacs. That's INK, Somniacs. And our little team is a fun group of girls, and they get included in all the tutorials as well. Yeah, you enjoyed it, Jean. Thank you so much. Now, for anyone who did not place an order last month and therefore didn't qualify for them, and you're not in my team either, you are very welcome to purchase the tutorial. So I'm actually going to switch over to the desk and we'll get started. Because, like I said, we have 30 people here already. It's growing. That's great. If you're on YouTube and you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, because that's how I get to keep in touch with everyone. You get notified if I'm going live or doing something special. So, hey, Karen, nice to see you. Whereabouts exactly? You're in Canada, Karen, right? Am I correct? I know it's northerny place. I think it's Canada. But yeah, we don't normally see each other live. It must be in the middle of the night there or somewhere. All right. Oh, you like the craft along, Michelle? Thank you so much. I know masking is such a fun technique. It was one I really wanted to do. And you know what? There are so many techniques. It is insane how many different techniques there are. So I could probably keep these going for a really long time just with techniques, but I'm also going to be mixing it up a little bit. And some months, instead of doing a technique, I will do a project type. You know, for example, last month we did easel cards and we had 6 different types of easel cards. This month we did a technique. We did masking. The first month before that, we did watercolor techniques. But next month, okay, so mark your diaries. Next month will be Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m., the 17th of December. Yes, I know that's the week before Christmas. If you can't watch live, don't worry. I know lots of people got plenty of stuff going on at that point of things, and you can watch the replay. But if you've placed an order this month in November, $60 or more with me this month, you will automatically get a supply pack to make the project, and you'll automatically get all the tutorials, so you don't have to pay for those extra. You will get them for placing an order this month. So there you go. Yeah, you're in Calgary. I've been there. I've been to Calgary, but many, many years ago. Okay. Oh, you're right. Because Karen's a nurse. So Karen is a demonstrator in Canada and she is a nurse. And as she says, she's working a night shift and she's on her break. So I'm very happy that you've chosen to spend your break with me or with us. We've got a great group of girls here. So, yeah, I'm very, very lucky to have awesome, awesome customers and team members and people that like to watch. So there we go. All right. So I'm going to switch over to the desk phone. And here we go. Right. I've got my paper all ready to go, trying to line it up so it's straight. I don't like it when it's crooked. Oh, Helen, Majestic Princess. Are you on the cruise to Papua New Guinea? Is that the one you're on? Is that one? Because I think that's the one that Jody is on. And Jody's not here tonight because I know that she's on a cruise to Papua New Guinea at the moment. Ah, have I got the right cruise? Is that the correct one? Yeah, it does sound pretty cool, doesn't it? Whereabouts are you going in New Zealand? Whereabouts? Auckland or somewhere else? It does sound like fun. All right, so just New Zealand, you didn't go to Papua New Guinea as well? Okay. I've got Jody and actually another of my customers who are on the Papua New Guinea cruise. I think that's one of the Princess cruises as well. That's why I thought maybe Helen was on the same one. But nice to see you, Helen. It's been a little while. All right, so let's have a look. This is what we made yesterday, okay? And for anyone who was following along and making the card with me, I'm hoping that you ended up with something that looked kind of like this, okay? Maybe not exact, all right? So I did, this is actually the one look, I did a bunch of them, okay? This is the one I originally did. And what's different about this one, I don't know if you can see, but I actually embossed the moon on this one. Can you see that that's embossed? And that's embossed with the moon from the Mountain Air stamp set, which is here, this one. So it's this moon here, okay? So that's the way I did it initially. But when I'm doing a project, I think really hard about what projects I can send out with all the pieces, because I want to keep everyone engaged so that if you don't have the stamp set that I'm using, you can still make the project. And in this case, the main things that we were doing was the layered masking. So these mountains were all created by a technique called layered masking. And I showed how to use, I used for mine and sent out the supplies using the Majestic Mountain dies, okay, which here's one, all right, that's a Majestic Mountain die that I've cut out, and if you look closely, you'll see it actually matches up with the mountains on here. But we use the negative, this is like the positive bit that I cut out. We use the negative bit, the frame around it, to create our bits. And then I showed people who didn't have the dies how they could create a similar mountain kind of a look by, ripping their copy paper. And we did that as well. So there was a few different ways. You didn't have the dies, Margaret, so you would have done that way. Were you happy with the result? Yeah, Cookie is getting a little bit excited tonight, isn't he? Yeah, I very often do stop. Once it gets dark, he goes to bed. And sometimes if he starts singing in like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, we know that's because somebody's, usually me, accidentally left the light on. As long as the light is on, he stays awake. But yeah, lots of walking. Good. Oh, food is awesome on cruises. It really is. That's one thing you'll never have to worry about going starving on a cruise, right? So anyway, this was the card we created yesterday. And I'm really glad that some of you were able to make it along with me. So if you missed it, you can go and watch the replay. Okay, so the replay, it was dated yesterday, the 26th of November, and it's called the November Craft Along event. Okay, so every month I'm doing a craft along event. People who placed an order the previous month get the supplies to make the project that month. And then so people who order by the end of November, the 30th, if you pop an order in with me, whether you contact me directly or whether you go through my online store, you will actually, and I'll put the details down in the details for the shop down in the description below. So if you go and check after the end of the video, you'll find those details in the description. Okay, and you can go there and you can place an order. If the order is $60 or more, automatically you will qualify for the supply pack for the craft along next month. That's okay, Solvegas. No such thing as too late. You cut your mountains by hand. See, there's another way to do it. So you can literally cut them out with scissors. You can rip them like what I showed, or you can use the dies. So, yeah. You think the middle one was your favorite? So I think, which one? This one? I think that was actually the one I did. You know what I did? Okay. I actually came up with this card like a month or so ago. All right. So it had been a while. And then yesterday, before I went live, I created another one just to make sure I could remember how I did it because you don't want to forget that, right? And then this is the one I made actually in the class. And you might remember we added the birdies in after. Okay. So once we removed our mask, then we added our birds. But I really loved how they turned out, and the colours are really nice. Those three colours, if you're wondering, Night of Navy, Orchid Oasis, and Polished Pink. Okay, those are the three colours in there. But then, okay, I showed all the other cards that are in the tutorial. So let's go through those, and I'm going to show them in order. First of all, there's this one. Okay, so this is all, that's a mask. The cat has been masked and the basket stamped around it. And, of course, we all know this is Crumpet, our little ginger kitten, all right? But I had to do another one. I couldn't leave poor Merlot out. He's our black and white kitty. And so I did one with Crumpet and one with Merlot, one of each, okay? And they're sitting in front of a basket of apples, all right? So this set is called the Cheerful Basket Set. It's in the annual catalogue. Really, really fun little set. But you'll get the idea when you see the tutorial. It will show you how to do masking with any stamp set, okay? Oh, we're talking now we've moved on to what we're going to eat. A cactus pizza? Are you serious? What is, I don't even know what that means. Okay, I do not know. And then the next card that I did was pretty much the same technique, but this time I showed you how to do it with flowers. So you can create a floral look. Here's another one that I did. This is not in the tutorial, but I do show it. Okay, this was another way of using the stamps from the True Beauty stamp set with the roses here in the middle, and we've got kind of like, I don't even know what kind of flower this is behind, but it's very pretty. But you can see this rose look like it's in front of the others, and then the leaves look like they're coming out from behind. So that is also a mask card. I actually really like this one. I think that turned out really nice. This is the one, though, that I made in the video. I think that worked out really well. The colours are Polished Pink, Blackberry Bliss, and Mossy Meadow. Just those three colours. Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? No, actually, Merlot wasn't named by us. He was named by the friends who we ended up getting him from. They couldn't keep him anymore, and that was his name. So he came to us already named. My husband was not part of. He likes everyone to know he was not part of the naming process when we named Crumpet. It was a toss up. It was a toss up at the end. We came down to two. It took us days to name him because we just couldn't all agree. It was a toss up between Theo and Crumpet, and I had the deciding vote, and Crumpet won, much to my husband's disgust, because he was firmly in the Theo camp. But I think he looks like a Crumpet. I think it works for him. I have since thought of other names that I wish we had called him instead. Has anyone ever seen the Keira Knightley version of Pride and Prejudice. We wish we had called him Bingley, because he's got, you know, that red hair and a little bit vacant and always happy. And that's what we wish we had called him. We think that Bingley would have been a really good name for him. So there you go. All right. This is another mask card where I masked the window as a background, okay, and then stamped over the mask with the different elements. And this is not the card I made in there. The card that I made is actually this one, which is note card size. This was just an example of what it would look like if I did it full size. I actually prefer the note card. And I think it looks like it probably would have benefited from a frame around the window on the larger size card, but we actually do have, I've actually got it close by. Let me see, I think I put my window dies are close by because I was thinking I might even use them tonight, so I might just have to grab them out of the packet. But the window dies are a lot of fun, and they are going to be retiring soon. So just bear in mind that on the 1st of December, which is only a few days away, our mini catalogue retirement list comes out. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that tonight. Okay, so there's these. And then there's this one. I actually really like this card. This is the Pretty Medallion stamp set, and I masked off a section for my sentiment. So this was another way of showing how you can mask off an area for a sentiment. And you can do this on any card. It looks really good with a busy background. So there's a tutorial. So there's tutorials for all of these that is available for sale. And then we also have this one here, which is another frame. I wanted this one, my idea behind this was to try and create kind of a bush Christmas look for an Australian Christmas. And I think it works. What do you think? Does that work for an Australian Christmas? No, there's no snow to be seen. There's no Christmas trees. There's no snowmen or penguins or any of that stuff. It's just some nice Christmas foliage and some pretty colours. So the colours in here are Mossy Meadow, Garden Green, Sahara Sand, and the red is Merry Merlot, which is the same colour as the base. Okay. I know Bingley would have been good, wouldn't it? Have you seen that version, Bronwyn? How are you, by the way? Nice to see you. I know the window as a mask is lovely. I really, really like it. Yeah, I'm so glad you like them. So if you are interested in getting the tutorials for all of those, I've got them available as a whole set, including there's the link to the video that we did yesterday, but there's video tutorials for each of those cards and all the measurements, so they're all step by step so that anyone can do them. And I'm really happy with how they turned out. So if you would like to purchase those tutorials, let me pop my blog banner on the screen, and this is where you go. See there, www.lhiggins.blogspot.com, and you go there, and at the top of the page you can either scroll down and find the button that says purchase now on the current post, or you can go right up to the top where it says tutorials for sale. Okay, if you go up there, you'll see it up there, and there's a purchase now button, big green button, and a picture of the card, a picture of this card, that one, but all the different cards are actually shown in the tutorials. Okay, but if you're there and you like the looks of some of the other tutorials that I've had for the previous months, you can purchase those as well. So thanks to those of you who have purchased. It's fabulous to know that that people really appreciate them, and I really, really thank you for supporting my business in that way. It's fabulous. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to get rid of the banner. All right. And I know you're all keen to get it to get started. I have a few ideas tonight of things that I would like to do, and I'm going to start with something just a little bit different. This is an idea I have in my head. I'm going to fold over a piece of basic white thick cardstock, and we'll just fold that over with a bone folder. Set that to one side. Now I've cut with Coastal Cabana cardstock. I have cut one of the, I think it's the second largest of the layering diorama dies. Okay, which I have not. I bought this early on thinking that it would be a really nice. Set to use, because I make a lot of diorama cards, and I've only just started using it really recently, and I think I'll probably do what I sometimes do, which is not use something that I bought. Sorry, I meant to get rid of the banner. Get rid of that. Try again. There we go. And go back to comments. so I can see them. Oh, you're all talking about which cruise line you like. Hey, Ellen, nice to see you. Yeah, it's a good movie, isn't it, Bronwyn? If I had to pick a cruise line, having gone on several cruise lines, I've been on the Princess, I've been on the Norwegian, but my absolute favourite by a mile is Royal Caribbean. I think they do the best cruises, just personally. So I know everyone has different feelings on which ones they like, but that's the one I think is the best. All right, so I'm going to use a couple of different stamps tonight. I'm thinking, what stamps will we use? We'll go with, and look, these stamps are beautiful. This is the Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set from the annual catalogue. And I'm going to pop a couple of these onto blocks. Little starfish. I'm thinking, do I want a bigger one? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. The starfish is really cute. And also it has some like shapes that colour these in if you want to do that, which I think is a really nice idea, because then you haven't actually got to feel like you need to colour them in. Not that you have to anyway, but who has this set? Hey, Nicole, nice to see you. I'm just going to grab, let's grab a couple of those. All right. So I just have an idea here of what I would like to do. And like I said, it's nothing, it's just an idea. I don't know how it's going to go because it's only, the idea is just in my head. But, oh, that's copy paper left over from yesterday. Look at that. I don't want that. I want cardstock. That's what I want. Now, I'm going to use a couple of different bits of, I've got plenty of the basic white thick. I just don't seem to have any of the normal cardstock. Here we go. I have a scrap here. This will be nice. All right, and I'm going to do this in a darker colour because it'll team up nicely with my Coastal Cabana piece. And I'm going to pop a matte under here. Being photopolymer stamps, I want to make sure I get a really good image and it's big enough that could make a difference. You know what? I'm not even going to worry about colouring that. It's quite nice, isn't it? Beautiful. These are really nice. And I'm going to show you actually tonight a different masking technique that did not get featured in the videos. All right, so I also have tonight I'm having one of those nights, and you know what? We've just started and I'm already losing things. How could that happen? What happens when, oh dear. You know how I am, guys. I've only just started tonight. I could chop these out by hand, but why would I do that when I have dies? Oh, I have something else to show you. Oh, my head is everywhere tonight. Does anyone recognize this? This is the other card that we were making on Friday night that I didn't quite finish, and I wanted to show you the finished result. So remember, this is the one that I was showing you how to adjust for this piece that doesn't quite fit our size cardstock and what you can do. And so what I did was I put a score line just here on this side. So this is right to the edges. Score line here so that this actually opens like a book fold. Can you see that? So it doesn't open from the edge. It opens out this way. And then I tied a piece of the glittery organza ribbon around that to finish it off. So it looks like it's just a feature of the card. So that's one way that you can use those dies and get that really great result. Just thought you would like to see that. It did turn out nice. Oh, I knew they were here. I just popped them under something, or I popped something else on top of them. All right, so these are the seashells dies, or what are they called? Seaside seashells dies. And they're saying that for me because they know I have a little bit of a lisp, and they thought that would be funny to hear me say that. So this little seashell is going to go here. And do I have, I just realized. Okay. So we have all these different shapes, and I'm actually going to stamp a different one. What one will I stamp? I'm going to stamp the sand dollar because sand dollars are cute. I like them a lot. And I'll stamp that in Bermuda Bay as well. And then I'll show you this one because this one doesn't have a standalone die to cut it out. So that's kind of interesting. Oh, you like the book card? Yay, it turned out well. I know. A lot of Linda moments tonight, Joan. Good thing I don't do that where I used to be. For those of you who remembered, I used to do, when I first started my lives, I used to have Linda moments. And if anyone said Linda moment when I lost something, I would send them a prize or a card or something. And that was really great, except that I was doing too many Linda moments, and in the end I had to stop it because I was going to be broke. I just had so many to send out, it wasn't funny. All right, so these fit. Okay, so you can see this little sand dollar here. Where does that go? Does it go? No, it goes there. Just like that. Okay, so we can put these through our cut and emboss machine, and I'm going to do that. But I want to show you, actually, I'll move those off for a second. I want to show you this one, right? So there's also, in this set of dies, the dies only have 6. There's 6. So there's the 2 I just pulled out. Okay, these 2. Oh, it's starting to storm here. I hope. I know, right? You know what? Susan and I are way too alike sometimes. It's a bit scary. She has a constant losing of stuff as well. You've got this one which cuts out one of the little scallops. This one and this one which cut out some of the greenery. So when I say greenery, like there's this little guy here and this little guy here. But then you've got, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 2 that I've got here, 6. The big one is 6. All right. So I want to show you. I've just cut this out. All right. Just now. I cut it out of Bermuda Bay. And the thing is, it's a little bit of a trick, okay? So you can cut out all these bits and they look terrific, okay? And you can do different things with them. However, if you want to cut out this shape, this big die cuts out that shape right there, okay? And it doesn't just cut out that shape, it cuts out all the other bits as well. So if you didn't want to do that, you might be better to cut this one out by hand. And in this case, that's what I'm going to do. So it's an easy shape to cut. That won't be a problem. And I love that you get all these other little bits of seaweed and stuff like that with the big die. The other thing you can do is you can stamp, because they're clear, okay, you can stamp onto here. So let's do that and I'll show you what that looks like. Hey, Cheryl. Yeah, it's starting to storm here right now as well, which means Crumpet, thankfully he's not in this room, but he's probably hiding under someone's bed somewhere because he hates storms. Merlot doesn't care, but Crumpet does. All right, so you can see that this looks really, really nice when you stamp onto the big die, or the big die cut, I should say. So I'm just going to push out all these little tiny bits if I can get my scratchy thing, scratchy little brush, and push out some of those as well. All right, so let's do it. Let's do some of the others. So I'm using Bermuda Bay on Bermuda Bay. So if I wanted them to stand out more, obviously I could use a lighter color, all right, which would also look quite good. The other thing, if I want to, I can then cut these out of here. And I was going to use the greenery bits. So I'm actually going to be chopping this up. But you could have this on here and have the bits of greenery coming out. And that actually would look, that would be a nice look as well. So that would be something different. So let's stamp the other ones. So there's a few of them. I think that's, yeah, yep, that's the right one for that one. So it kind of guides you where to stamp them. looks really good when it's done. I'm just going to clean a couple of these ones so I can use the blocks again. And the words in this stamp set are really nice for anyone who hasn't noticed them. So the stamp set is called Friends Are Like Seashells, but the full quote from the stamp says, friends are like seashells, you collect them along the way, which is kind of nice. It's a lovely set. I think the stamp I use most in this one is the one that says happy birthday to my beautiful friend. I really like that. I think that's really nice. Tell you what else would look nice. These would look nice embossed in, say, silver. That would look really good. So let me pop this one on here. So you can see that it comes together quite quickly. We've got a little scallop. This one just goes on an A block. And that one goes right here. Sometimes I'm not sure which way they should go. Actually, that one, that one's more of a line drawing one. This one would have been better. So I'm going to do it again. Even though that might make it look a little bit messy, but that's okay. It still looks fine. And then the big one is kind of like, is that what they call a conch shell? Is that what this is? I'm not sure what it is. Somebody who knows a lot more about shells than me will know. So has anyone looked at this set and wasn't sure what to do with it? It's kind of a fun die and stamp combo. There we go. Look at that. Doesn't it look lovely when it's all stamped? It's really nice. All right, so you could just pop that on a card and add a greeting and it would look lovely. Okay, that would be really nice, but that's not what my plan is tonight. I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to start cutting my shells. So I'm just going to cut them out. They will come out pretty easily because some of the cutting is already done for you. See what I mean? Some of the lines are already there, so you don't actually have a lot of cutting to do. And then I can decide which I want to use. I haven't decided if I'm going to use, I probably won't use all of them, but I think this large one here is nice. And I want to use this one. Oh, yes, that would be nice with pearlized cards. Very much so, Jean. Hi, Jean. How are you? Haven't seen you for a while. We're here every Friday and Sunday night. You're welcome to join us anytime. There we go. All right. And I'm going to take out the big one. I still haven't decided if I want to use it. But see how you don't have to do cutting all the way around. Now, what I am doing, I'm cutting off some of this foliage, these little, little grassy seaweed kind of bits, and I do want to use some of those. So I'm not going to get rid of them. I'm going to use them. This one would be a nice set to use on a scrapbooking page about, a trip to the beach or, a holiday in Fiji or the Barrier Reef or something like that. You could have a lot of fun with layouts using these pieces. Okay, so now we're getting together some shells. Oh, this one needs to be trimmed. There we go. And then I've got all these little leafy greeny kind of bits. I don't know if I'll use that shell. I probably won't. Might use this one. So yeah, minimal cutting because a lot of it is already done. And let's put some of these aside. And like I said, I want to use some of those bits. All right, so I have got my, which way will this go, I wonder? deciding. Maybe this way. And so you could even have, if we're going to do it, like if you were going to add it to a white card base, which I am in this case, you could even have some of your shells kind of popping out from behind. You wouldn't have to have them all on top. I think that one's maybe a little, that one's a bit big. So this kind of a look, yeah? Is that making sense? And then I would like to have some bits of seaweed coming out as well. So maybe, actually I might, this bit here. All right, so kind of getting an idea for how I might want this to look. Now, I'm thinking it needs a little bit of blending on it. I'm grabbing a blending brush. And I'm considering, let me see, considering using some white ink in the middle here to give it a little bit more contrast. So let's see if we can do something with the white ink and just make it look a little lighter in the middle. Just looking to see, there's some little dots here. It's a shame that there's no little bubbles. It would be nice to have some bubbles going up, wouldn't it? But that's okay. We'll still do something with the little dots, I think. All right, so that's looking nice, kind of in a bit of contrast there in the middle. And I'm thinking, will I use, I'm thinking I might ground it across the bottom here with some of those dots. So I'm going to pop some dots here. Move that out of the way. And I'm going to pop some across here. And I don't think we're going to see them much on here because the shells will be in front, but I'm still going to add some. We might see a tiny bit. Like this. And it kind of looks like bubbles, kind of. How's that looking? Is that starting to come together? All right, so let's... All right, so I'm going to put my my diorama piece. So I'm not using the diorama pieces as a diorama. I'm not cutting out the windows today. This is left over from one that I did cut out the windows. Some of you may have seen me make it on a live I did a couple of weeks ago. It was a daytime live. I'm keeping these in from the edge, so I've got plenty of room to stick things in underneath if I want to. I don't have the whale set, Jean. Otherwise, I would use them. There are bubbles in the sea today, and that one's retired, Kay. I don't have that one anymore. Something about me that horrifies a lot of people is that I always, once the stamp set retires, I move it on. I sell it, or it goes on to a BOGO sale or something. Well, there you go. Except I have a great deal of trouble saying that tongue twister, Michelle. There we go. All right, so this one, I'm thinking I will throw a couple of dimensionals. Actually, will I or won't I? You know, this one can go straight down. It's not going to have dimensionals. I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue. I'm making a giant mess here, but hey, what else is new? Just going to pop it here. And this is going to go this way, here. And see, you could have things going in from behind like this, or we could have things coming out. What I might do is have this piece here. I think that would look good, and it's going to go from behind the shell. But then some of the other foliage, the shorter bits, I might have them coming out from behind my layering piece. So we're kind of just having some fun here, stamping and then just popping things wherever and deciding what looks good as we go. Let's pop that there and hold it in place for a second. Multi-purpose glue, you have to hold it in place for a second so it can get some good stick. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. And then I have got a little piece here. I'm going to pop that one on dimensional. And I'm only using, so far I have only used really 2 colours. We've got Coastal Cabana and we've got Bermuda Bay. We're keeping it really, really simple. So I'm thinking that might look good here. And then I'm going to play around with these and decide where they look good. What do you think? Do they look good there? The easiest way to attach these is probably going to be with glue dots. Nicole's telling you how best is to work with that tongue twister. Type it 3 times fast. Be exhausted by the time you do that. I'm going to use my glue dot here. And I'm going to pop that. And then this one, there's a little bit of I need to cut a little bit off this. Still a bit left over from the shells. Can you hear the rain? It's getting louder now. The part of the house that I'm in is actually an addition that was added onto this house at some point, many years ago before we bought it. But it's because of that, I don't think there's any insulation above this section of the roof, and the rain is louder in this room than anywhere else. Yeah, you can have some fun with this. Is a really fun set. And I think that little bit of white in the middle looks really good, actually. The white adds to it. This is a good set, though, if you want to have a little bit of fun with some, you know, some bits and pieces. Dimensional behind this one. All right. It's kind of coming together. Some vellum would be really nice on this card. I'm not going to do that today, but some of you may have seen the card that I made the other day where I did do a vellum piece. Let me see if it's next to the desk. It may or may not be. And if it isn't, that just means that I am not going to be able to show it to you tonight. But I did post it a few days ago. I posted it. Yeah. No, not here. That's okay. I thought it might have had it, but it had a. I did this piece. I did this piece and embossed it in vellum, and then that was through the window that this got cut out of, which looked really, really good. And I'm just noticing, you know what? I'm tiny bit here. That obviously is where my greeting is going to have to go, because I've got a tiny bit here that I should have chopped that off that leaf, and it's not quite right. And I was going to add. I still will, you know. I could. By the time I bring in my cut and emboss machine, it's actually just as easy to cut one of these out, because I just feel like it needs the contrast of a white star. And some of these things, it's not difficult to cut them out by hand, actually. Who else loves fussy cutting? Am I on my own? Am I the only one? Because I do. I really like it. I find it therapeutic. I don't know if you guys all enjoy watching me cut out, but, you know, I find it quite nice to do. So last night we had a guest. My daughter has a friend, and he came for dinner last night, which was very nice. And then we played board games until very late. Right. See, now this needs a little bit of. Doesn't that look better with that little bit of contrast? Bit of white down there, I think. You could color this in too. And actually, you know what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to stick it on, and I'm going to add a piece. I'm going to add Winker Stella to it because I think that would look really nice. Some shiny shells. What do you think, guys? There we go, like that. And my Winker Stella is, here it is. Oh, no, that's not the right Winker Stella. That one's seen better days. I've got another one somewhere. I'm not too worried. I'll add Winker Stella, and maybe, oh, you know what we could do? We could add a bit of bling in the center of our little, and I think iridescent rhinestones are going to be the way for this one tonight because they look so pretty with this. So I'm going to add an iridescent rhinestone in the middle of that little guy there. That looks good. And then the next thing I need to do, I need to add a sentiment, and I'm deciding whether I put it on the label or whether I'm going to... Anyway, this is what I wanted to show you. Remember I said I'm going to show you a masking technique that is not in the videos from yesterday. So this is one that you might enjoy. So we have this beautiful, we have some lovely sayings in here, but the one I wanted to focus on is friends are like seashells, you collect them along the way. Okay, so I'm going to use that particular, and you can see it's a reasonable size. I could put it here and it would look okay, but it's a little bigger than I actually want it to be. So I'm going to grab, put it on a block. I prefer to have my stamps straight on the block. It doesn't really matter, but I just find it easier to make sure I'm going to get them straight. If you're going to cut them out anyway, it matters even less, but so I am going to do this on a piece of white, okay? And before I do this, I'm going to grab myself some washi tape. Now, you might have, like I do, drawers and drawers of washi tape. I am using one that's currently in. Did everyone know that we have glitter washi tape right now? It comes in 4 colors. The Granny Apple Green, I think that's what this is, Pumpkin Pie, Gorgeous Grape, or is it Highland Heather, and Black. Those 4 colors. And it's really, really handy stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off the part of my sentiment that I do not want on the front of my card. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of, so I'm just going to, and because washi tape is straight, it's even better because it helps you get it exactly along the line there. And I'm going to cover up that entire bit of the sentiment below, going over the edges. There's a bit extra down the bottom here. But you can use any washi tape for that. Certainly doesn't have to be glittery. Even though glittery washi tape, of course, is the best, but you do not have to have glittery washi tape to do this. All right, so I'm making sure that the top part, the friends are like seashells, is the bit that I want to have. Okay, so I'm going to do this in the same color. You don't mind fussy cutting? Yes, I know. Thank you. I'm glad you like the contrast. Fussy cutting, Michelle doesn't like it. Michelle doesn't like it. All right, so now you can see I have inked this whole thing up, including the washi tape, okay? Before I stamp, I'm going to take off my washi tape. And then underneath, my stamp is clean where I've removed the washi tape, and I'm just going to get the top part. I'm going to do it this way. So now we have friends are like seashells, okay? We don't have the rest of it. So this is another masking technique. I had so many different masking techniques I wanted to show you in the videos yesterday that I couldn't include them all. So this is just an alternative one. I'm just going to look to see. I'm thinking I might use my good old Labels Picker Punch tool. And I am going to cut this with my trimmer. I'm going to go in here, cut all that off, and do it at the 1 inch mark. So now I have Friends Are Like Seashells on a 1 inch strip, okay? And then I'm going to bring in my Pick a Punch tool, which has channels for 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch, which is the one we just do. I'm actually going to take, even though it's exactly an inch, I'm going to go ever so slightly under an inch. And the reason I'm going to do that is it'll make it easier to slide it into my punch. All right, so now it's going to fit in nicely. See, it fits into the channel really well. So I push it in as far as it will go. And I wait until I can see it at the back. There it is. And I'm going to take off that end. So now I have a little banner end. And I'm thinking I might actually need to take a teensy bit off because it's a little long on this side. So I'm going to run that back in again. If you don't have this punch, it does a concave and convex. I always forget which is which, but I think if I'm right, this is concave because it's goes in, so it's like a cave. The other one is convex because it's the opposite. If I'm wrong, can someone please correct me? Because, you know, I hate it when I give you guys the wrong information. All right, so now we've got our Friends Are Like Seashells on a little banner. It is a little longer than I wanted, but it's okay, but it is a little longer. So what I might do, get rid of my trimmer, I'm going to cut that a little shorter. So when you put it in again, okay, if you put it in a second time, it's really easy. You just go all the way to the end and you can see that end. You can line that up and see it's going to take that much off. Can you see how much is going to come off? That little bit that you could see there is the bit that it's going to cut off. That's better. I'm going to do it again. Lining it up so it's straight. If it's not quite straight, you can move it with your scissors just like that. That's better. And I can do that as many times as I need to until it looked the way I wanted it to look. Okay, so you could also put this on a different, you know, we have those beautiful banners that are in the stylish shape styles. Those are really cool. I'm going to grab, I've got a sponge over here, and I'm going to grab a bit of Coastal Cabana ink, which is the lighter color, the color of the layering shape underneath, and I'm going to pick up some of that, and I'm just going to edge this in that lighter color. And we're going to need a couple more of the rhinestones to finish this up. And here we go. We've nearly done our card. Something a little different. All right. And I just want this sort of going here. I'm going to use a couple of dimensionals behind it. I'm correct? Oh, that's good to know. Someone should tell my husband I'm correct. That never happens. I just want to have that so it doesn't, I don't want to have it going over the edge of the card. There we go. So we need a bit more bling. So we've got one in the middle of the starfish. I'm going to have another here on the edge of the banner, and a little guy. Oh, much easier to do with your scissors. Let's pop another one up the top here. There we go. It's actually a pretty simple little card, but I kind of like it. I like sometimes just a really like a monochromatic kind of a card where I just use one color, or one, in this case, Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana kind of works so well together that, you know, it is pretty monochromatic, but it works. What do you think? You think I'm on my own, Joan? Ah, see, Katrina said she doesn't mind fussy cutting, so there. Oh, it's raining where you are too, Michelle. No, who said that it's raining? Wendy said. Wendy said it's, and you're a long way away, Wendy. Do you know we have a place called Swansea just up the road from here? It's about an hour away. In fact, I got married just near there. But Swansea here, I believe, is quite different from Swansea where you are. All right, happy with that one. Let's pop that aside and get a few of these bits and pieces out of the way. I'll grab my, I just realized too, my Stampin' Scrub needs a clean. So that'll be on tomorrow's job list, I think. Clean on one side, dry on the other. If you haven't got one of these, they're a really great tool. How do people clean their stamps? Have you got different ways of doing it? We have two really great stamp cleaners. One is the chamois, which is literally like a chamois cloth that you just wet with water and clean your stamps with that. And the other one is this one, the Stampin' Scrub, that you have a mist solution, Stampin' Mist, that you spray on one side and then you just dry it. This is the cleaning side where the little raindrops appear on one side there. There's a symbol, and then there's a sun symbol on this side, which is the drying side. So, yeah, they're a really great tool. I've had mine since that was the very first thing I ever bought from Stampin' Up was the Stampin' Scrub. You put it underneath the tap and run it until I scrub it up with my fingers and run it until the water runs clear. And then I leave it out in the sun to dry. So I blot it with a towel because that gets rid of a lot of the moisture. Some people take the pads out to clean them because they have like little lip things here and you can take them out. But I actually I've had a couple of scrubs, and one of them I broke when I was taking these little pads out. I broke the little plastic tabs that keep them in, and I've found that I get just as good a cleaning result by leaving the pads in and cleaning them in there, blot it with a towel, and then leave the whole thing out in the sun. That's how I do it. But Monique says she uses a baby wipe. Just be careful with what type of baby wipe you use, Monique, because if the some baby wipes have a solution that's very drying for your stamps, or if they're alcohol based, they can also really dry out your stamps and cause damage to them. So you just want to make sure that if you're using baby wipes that you are using ones that are, you think if they're good for babies, they'd be good for stamps, wouldn't you? I mean, really. But some have alcohol in them, and I don't understand why babies need to have alcohol rubbed on them. I don't get that. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. All right, so I can see we have a few stamps here. Let me add that one. Trying to get these away so they're out of the way and I don't lose any of them, because there's something I don't like to do, that's losing stamps. I was telling those of you who were watching yesterday, I was talking on the craft along video about how I lost the birds out of my Mountain Air stamp set, which is very, very sad. Oh, something else I was thinking, where it says friends are like seashells, okay, ... Guess what I didn't do? All right, so I want to use the second half. You collect them along the way on the inside of the card. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same bits of washi tape I used before, and I'm going to pop them on the top bit this time. Now, if your washi tape has no stick and is not staying where you want it to, I would get a fresh piece. Okay, but it should stay. And you use as much as you need to use to cover up the words that you want to cover up. And just, I overlap them a little bit so that no ink can get through. And then I grab my ink. And this time we're going to do, you collect them along the way, and that's going to go on the inside of my card. Oops, I think I did it crooked, but anyway. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Guess what I didn't do? I didn't pull my washi tape off, okay? That would have been good. You collect them along the way. Now you get the idea, but I've completely messed it up. So instead, what I'm going to do is put a piece of paper over that, and that is a Linda, oopsie, that's what that is. But I hope you got the idea. You meant to put the washi tape on, ink it up, take the washi tape off, and then stamp. Okay, that's what you do. Luckily, we have lots of options. We can stamp it again on something like this, punch it out, and put your punch piece, stick it down in the middle there. That's how I would fix that. So if you need to fix something like that, there is always a way to fix. That's what embellishments are for, right? So we do have, thinking, what do we have? I have a whole bunch of punches that would be good for this. So for example, I could use this little label punch. What's the name of this punch? I cannot remember the name of the punch. But let me see if I can tell you what it is. Somebody might know before me. Yeah, you tried to yell me. And Jean scared her cat and Cindy scared her husband. How funny. Oh, that's interesting. So Nicole's saying the lanolin that used to be on baby wipes used to cause deterioration on the vulcanized rubber. How interesting. There you go. I have heard that some baby wipes were bad for the rubber that we use. Where is it? Okay, it's this one. It's called the Label Me Lovely punch. There you go. So you girls can all stop yelling now, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to punch out my piece here, and then I would stick that down in the middle here and stamp my greeting on that, and stick it down with something like probably like Tombow or, you know, tape or something really firm, so there's no chance of that coming off. That's what I would do, but that's okay. I hope you got the idea and you saw what not to do. Okay, so you put your tape on, you ink up, you take your tape off, and then you stamp. I'm tired. Can anyone else tell that I'm tired? Goodness me. Oh dear. Well, I'm glad you guys are there to try and rescue me, even if you're not very successful. You can't be successful when you're on the other side of the world or on the other side of your computers. Yep, now you have 2 tries. That's right. All right, I'm putting these bits and pieces away and out of the way, and then I can get started on something else. We'll do something really simple. Does anything, seriously, I'm going to ask this question. Does anybody have anything that they particularly would like to see me do as I'm setting up? Because I do not have a particular idea of something I particularly want to do, but I do have the Window Wishes set here because this one's retiring. So when the retired list comes out on Wednesday, can I just tell you that not everything is going to be discounted. Okay, some things are and some things are not. So the Window Wishes stamp set is not going to retire. So you can just go ahead and order it any time and you're not going to get any better price. Just remember though, that if it sells out after the 1st of December, then it's gone. They won't restock it. Okay. There's always a fix. Absolutely, Michelle. You're absolutely right. Oh, Joan's starting to rain now. So everyone's getting the rain tonight. So Window Wishes is a set that I really like, and I showed you that lovely little card that before, this one that I made in one of the video tutorials that's available. And this one is just a really simple masked card. You can stamp these, but they have matching dies. Now the dies are going to be on sale. They'll be 40% off from the 1st of December. So why would I tell you to go ahead and get a set now if you can't get if the dies are going to be on sale after the 1st of December? And the reason why, I was chatting to my friend Susan, who's in the US, and she said that some items which are on the retiring list are already starting to sell out. Okay, even though the 1st of December hasn't hit yet, because people know what's going to retire, they're getting the things they want now, especially the things that are not on sale, and then they're waiting for the 1st of December to get the things that are on sale at the discounted prices. So my thinking is, if you, oh, a gatefold box card, yes, Donna, I can do that, but not tonight. But another night, that would be lovely. I did do a gatefold card. It's not handy, otherwise I'd show it to you. But I did one a month or so ago. Some of you may remember, and it kind of opens up It's not a box, but it is a really nice little gatefold card. So I did do one of those. I'm thinking, I keep looking at this shell and thinking I'm going to have to do something with that because it's so pretty. Isn't it nice? Ah, you're not sure about the stamps. Well, I hope I can maybe change your mind on that, Nicole, because I love them. I love anything with windows, and I love being able to see things through windows. I've actually done a whole bunch of cards with this set because I think it's really, really pretty little set. And, you know, it's got this really cute little wreath, and you can do some fun things with it. I did do a card with the candles as well, but I'm a big lover of this little tree here and the house. Okay, and if in case you're wondering, someone said to me, what are those little things? Are they eyes? No, they're actually the wheels for the car. So the reason that they do them separate, in case you're wondering, is so that you can make the tires a different color to the car, because you're going to want the tires to be black, right? But you might want a red car or who knows what color car. So if you do, you can put the tires on in black and then add them to the car in whatever color you like. And of course, we've got these cute little trees. I love the little trees. I think the trees are awesome. All right, so some of you may have noticed in this card we created a snowdrift in the same way that we did the mountain. We ripped this little piece to create this little bit of snow at the bottom of the window, and I thought that turned out really, really nice. It's so much fun. All right, let me grab. So I'm going very simple tonight with layers. I'm not doing lots of layers. This is our basic white cardstock, and I am going to just fold that over and set. I was going to say set it to one side, but I might just go ahead and I am deciding. I'm just going to do a really simple little bit of stamping, especially after Nicole told me that she's not convinced about the. So it makes me want to use them. So let's pop this little line here. This is kind of like a snow hill here, and so I'm going to do that. I'm deciding what color to do it. I could do it in black, but I don't want to. I'm thinking maybe I'll stick, seeing as I've got Coastal Cabana here on the table, or I might do Pool Party. Go a little lighter. All right, so Pool Party will be the color that I'm going to do my little snowdrift kind of thing. And I'm going to start with that. And let's just create a fun little scene. I think that'll be nice. So let's put our house on. This is a little tiny house. What color should our house be, guys? Oh, it's a Nautilus shell. No, I didn't see that. Thank you. Thank you very much. I missed that comment earlier. Sorry about that. Oh, Gina, I am so sorry you've had such a late night, but thank you so much for joining us. And go to bed and get some sleep. Jean, you should probably do the same. Not that we don't want you here, but goodness me. So what color? Red. We're going to have a red house, Megan. Okay. I'm going to go Sweet Sorbet then, because that's kind of a soft red. It's not too red. And the other thing is we could do a red roof, but I think you're right. Let's just do a little red house, and it's at the top of this hill. And this is going to be the world's simply easiest stamped card. We're just going to do simple stamping. That's all we're doing for this. I'm going to do a roof. What color roof? I'm thinking maybe navy, maybe grey. What color roof do you think? Navy might be good, actually. Oh, grey, said Donna. Okay, grey it is. What grey? Should we do grey granite or smoky slate? My smoky slate is quite dark. So I'm going to stamp it on my paper here at the back, and then we can decide whether we want it to be a darker color. This would be dark. It's not too bad. Or light. Do we want a light grey roof or a dark grey roof? So Donna's already voted for grey, Cindy. I'm so sorry. You've got to have super fast fingers with this bunch of people, I tell you. Dark grey or light grey? Dark. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4 darks in a row. Dark it is. That's good because I probably would have gone light. So you guys have got the voting. There we go. See how nicely this looks. Doesn't it look good? It stamps really, really pretty. All right. So now I'm thinking we need some pine trees. And we have 2 pine trees stuck together here, which I'm going to put them right here by the front of the house, or a single pine tree. So let's, yeah, I'm thinking maybe, deciding. Decisions. I like any kind of scene buildy kind of a place. This kind of set just makes me happy. So yeah, it will be a nice little Christmas card. Super simple, easy peasy. That's what I think. Right, so I'm thinking maybe go garden green. Single on the left, double on the right. Okay, Megan, you got it. See, this is what we call collaborative stamping, where we are going to, and that's quite dark, that garden green. So this time I'm going to stamp it off. And now this one looks like it hasn't gone all the way down. So I'm tempted to get my garden green marker and make it go down to the bottom there, and I'll colour this one as well so they'll look the same. And I feel like we might want to have a tree in the background. And because the tree, we don't want it to be over the top of the house, okay? So we can mask that. And that's actually really, really simple, just with, let me grab some masking paper, which I have back here. So this is the masking paper that we used in yesterday's class. Masking paper is a really great, I've got some that I've already chopped up, so this is some leftover that I've already got open. But the masking paper, it comes in 5x7 sheets. It's really, really great. It's sticky on the back. It has a split to make it really easy to remove the back, so it's sticky there. But I'm just going to, you can do this a couple of different ways. I'm thinking it might be easier. Let me get my little house. And it doesn't matter what color is on here. I'm just going to stamp it. I'll stamp it right here. Okay, and I only really want to do this side. And I'm going to cut. The secret is you cut inside or right on the line. Do not cut outside the line like you would if you were cutting out a project normally. All right, so this is all we're going to need for this. And because I've got the split, I can just take that off. And I'm just going to pop this over. Now I'm actually going to lift it up a little higher and get it to cover the roof as well. Just like that. And then I'm going to get my tree. And I'm going to do the tree in Memento Black. So this is really simple, the kind of masking that we're doing here. And if you love this, then you know what? I probably should have done the same with the pine trees as well. But the pine tree is going to be behind. I've just made the decision. And then I have got, let me find it. I'm looking for one of my, here we go, here's one. A journaling pen. We don't sell these anymore. We used to. Everything else that you've seen me use today, you can purchase, but this one you can't. I'm just going to make it reach down because I did a little bit too high. And we're going to take that off, and now the tree is going to look like it's behind there, not over the top of the house. Now if you want to, you could cut, you could, you know, just go really, really simple. You could color in in fact I think I'd like to. I'm going to use my, I use Daffodil Delight. So saffron would have been good, but I don't have any currently, so I'm just going to color in, just making sure that's not going through. It's okay. And if it did go through, you could just put another piece of paper on the inside to cover it, because alcohol markers tend to bleed through your paper. But we want it to look like there's a little bit of a glow going on inside the windows. Someone's home, you know. We don't want it to look like a haunted house. That would be bad. So this is a pretty simple little thing that we've got going on here. Now, if you wanted to, you could use one of the window dies. Do I have those handy? Let me see if I do. The window dies can be really useful for putting, there's a frame that goes right around, and I would do that probably, you could do it in red glimmer paper, but I think white glimmer paper would look really good. Now, I might have to go over to the die box and get them. Oh, these are the layering dioramas that I was talking about before. That's those. Aren't they cool? I have not, like I said, I haven't used them nearly as much as I would have liked to. I wish I had played with them a whole lot more, but now that the catalogue is nearly over, because we've only got until next year, depending if they may not retire them, they may stick around for another year. Now here is the die that I'm talking about. This is the frame in the window dies, okay, that you could put this all the way around here in white, and that would look really, really pretty. And it would look like we've got a little scene going on inside the window there. So should we add that? What do you think? Do we like it just simple like this? Now the other thing I want to do is I want to grab my Pool Party ink, and I am going to add a little bit of blending here in the sky, but I'm going to go very gentle. In fact, there might be enough already on here that I can get the effect without having to add any extra, and there is. Just want to add that little bit there like that. We could still do this if we wanted to. Frame or no frame? So, hey Leslie, hi from Sydney. I like the windows coloured in too, Donna. I always think it looks like somebody's home. That's much nicer. Don't worry, electric prices are pretty steep here too, Wendy. So we went and put solar power on our roof a year ago, and I'm really pleased to say it is making a difference to our prices. All right, the frame is a yes. Everyone thinks to add the frame. All right, okay. I quite like the card just as it is too. But let's add a frame, and let me see. I did have some white glimmer paper here. Even though I didn't anticipate doing this tonight, I'm wondering if I still have it. I think it's just behind me on the table. We could do a red frame. That would look nice. We could do a gold frame. Or we could do, like I said, and do a white frame. So we have a few choices. Gold, red, or white. What do we think? Which one will we go with? No frame, says Katrina. I like both, Katrina. I think everyone seems to, and Judy doesn't want a frame either, but most people are voting for the frame, so I'm going to do it. But just so Judy and Katrina know, I do quite like it without it. So, and then you could just add a little greeting down the bottom here, and it would look like a finished card. Okay, everyone seems to like the idea of the white. Also, Vegas voting red, but overwhelmingly, and the very first person to vote was Wendy, and Wendy said white. So white it is. All right, and I'm going to pop it through here. Now, give me a second. I'll bring my Big Shot in. Sorry, no, I won't. I'll bring my cut and emboss machine in because I can't seem to get past saying Big Shot, even though we haven't had it for like 2 years. All right, let's try this. Pop that through. So this is the white and red glimmer paper packs. It's 6x6 glimmer paper. From memory, I think it's only $8.75. It's really, really reasonable. I should look it up in the book. And I think it's going to retire. Pretty sure it is. Let me have a look and see if it's on the retiring list, because I'd like to be able to give you the right information about that. All right, so here's our little frame. Here's our, doesn't this look nice? So I purposely kept it contained. So if we wanted to put the frame in, we could. We can glue the frame straight down, or we can put the frame on mini dimensionals and it will sit up. Okay. I kind of like both. Don't ask me that, Wendy. No, I haven't. I have not found it, but I know it's not far away, and it's probably under something, because right now this room looks like a bomb went off because we have moved everything from the spare room, which is our room that things go, and because we had someone staying over last night, everything came in here, and right now it is no doubt under a box or something. That's why I have not found my mini, but I will find it. All right, so we're deciding whether I made a minion card. You're the second person to tell me they saw the minion card this week. That's really interesting. Yes, I did here's an interesting story about the minion card tutorial. That is my most successful video ever. I think it's had like 33,500 views. It's really ridiculous, right? And I've never had one that's been that successful. But I did it at a time that we used to have the flip, what were those called? They were the flip frame dies where the center bit flipped when you opened up the card. And I've decided I'm going to make an executive decision. I'm just going to glue this on. So yeah, I made this minion thing, and then somebody in China actually redid my video, but they actually cut it out by hand. So they actually did my video exactly like my instructions, everything, but they didn't have the die, so they actually showed how to cut it out by hand. That video had like 500,000 views or something crazy, and it was actually my exact design that they had taken. And I tried to find that video a little while ago, and it's no longer available. It's gone. So who knows where it ended up, but they took it down. But isn't that interesting that after all of that, so this there says for lots of joy at Christmas, and I'm just going to pop this on a block. So this is one of the sentiments from this set, and I'm thinking garden green for the sentiment. Oh, does it really? How funny, Jean. That's so funny. So yeah, that I did that, like, I think you said 8 years ago. I think that's about right. It's a really, like, 2013, I think I did that video. So I've had a few that have, done over, 20,000 or whatever, but I haven't had anything like that for a long time. My videos are not getting the views that they did once upon a time. But that's okay. It's quality now, not quantity, right? I've got you guys. So it's much more a quality audience, not the quantity. So there we go. All right, so I'm thinking, what do we want to add to this in terms of embellishments? We could go with the good old iridescent rhinestones again. They would match, but maybe I'll pick something different. I don't know. What else have we got? Something, I've also got, I've got some festive pearls. Those would look nice. What else? Got Good morning, Katharina. How are you going? Ah, you're going to make a minion Christmas card. Well, there you go. We've also got, we could do some pool party gems, which would match in with this. Looking through my big box of embellishments. Champagne rhinestones, probably not quite right. I could do iridescent pearls. Lots of options. I could also do black matte dots. And I have even got, I could even just do little white matte, these, or I could color these in any color I will, you know, I could color these in if I wanted to in one of the colors that we've used. So I could color them in, oh, do I have sweet sorbet? I don't think I have sweet sorbet blends, but I could use real red blends. But then I've got festive pearls as well, which are also red. What do you guys think? Should we color them? Oh, you're busy making Christmas cards. Well, you've come to the right place. I would put puff paint on the hill, but Donna, in case you missed it a couple of weeks ago, I went to use my puff paint and I can't find that anywhere either. Goodness me. You know what's coming up over the holiday period? A big craft room cleanup, because I'm starting to not be able to find things, and that's not good. That's not good, is it? That's very, very bad. Does anyone else relate? I just think that sometimes everything gets a little bit out of control. Now these are nice. These are pool party. I think maybe we'll go with these. These little guys. These have got that shine on them. And these are, shall we put them? I think these would look rather good. And then some little ones maybe. How do those look? I think they're kind of cute. I think that's nice. I know. I don't know what happened to the puff paint, and I'm resisting the urge to buy another bottle because, you know, it's retiring. So what did I say? I was going to check the retiring list and see whether something was still around. What was it? Does anyone remember? Goodness me. I think I'm all over the place tonight. I'm just going to go back into my last chance list. All right. Okay. The real red and white glimmer paper. Yes, that is retiring, and it is going to be 40% off. So it was $8.75 here in Australia. It's going to be $5.25 for a pack of the red and white glimmer paper. Goodness me. Definitely want to add that to your list, because the white glimmer paper, as you can see, is really, really nice. It's really lovely. So there you go. We made 2 cards tonight, guys. We did it. We got 2 cards actually successfully made. Even though I lost nearly everything during the course of the evening, we managed to get there in the end. I'm looking to see what I've done with my other card, and nobody knows. I'll put it who knows where. Oh my goodness. Maybe I should, I'm thinking maybe I should start drinking before I do my lives. Maybe that would be helpful. Does anyone like that idea? Who knows what I'd forget then. But maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I'd be sharper. I don't know. So is everyone laughing at me? Because I know that that's entirely possible. Hey, Jan, nice to see you. Oh, you're very, very welcome. I know, right? Goodness me. All right, so I hope you really like this simple little card. Just remember, this is one of the sets that's going to be retiring, and it will be available until it's sold out, or until the 4th of January, whichever comes first, whichever happens first. And it's the same with everything on the retired list. It'll be on there until it sells out. And there are some things, for example, that glimmer paper, I think that will sell out. Not that I have any luck at all. Here's the other card. Hooray, I found it. Not that I have any luck at all in knowing what's going to sell out and what isn't. But I do find that there are some things that go really, really fast. And quite often it's not things I expect. So, oh, thank you. That'd be great, Jan. I hope you enjoy it. It makes your calligraphy better. Well, that's good to know, Nicole. What kind of alcohol would that be? That's pretty impressive if it makes you do things better. Oh, there you go. Neither of us will care, Michelle. I know, right? Or yeah, maybe I'll stamp crooked, but hey, that can happen anyway. Goodness me. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed those. I will be back next Friday night. I will have a newsletter going out in the next day or so to let everyone know about the tutorials if they haven't seen them already, that they're now available for sale. And also that, you know, all the details coming up with the retired list and all that kind of stuff. So if you don't get a newsletter from me, please go over to the blog and sign up. All right. So you go to my blog, which is up on the screen right now, lhiggins.blogspot.com. And over on the right-hand side, especially if you're on a computer, it seems to display a little better. On the right-hand side, up near the top, is a sign-up form to join my newsletter list. And I would love to have you on that list because that's how you get to hear all sorts of cool things, new specials. When things are different, I put in tips and ideas, links to videos, all kinds of stuff. So when you sign up, also, you get a free tutorial when you sign up. So I hope that, that everyone who's listening today is already signed up. If you don't receive newsletters from me already, doesn't matter where you are in the world, make sure you join the list, okay? And then you get to hear about all the stuff. Okay, guys, have a fantastic week ahead. And I will see you next Friday night. Bye-bye.